sitting in the Life Hotel.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's version of Adam and Jake on the Movies. I'm Jake,
And I am Adam.
and I'm backlit today.
You are, aren't you?
Just because that's where the lights are here. So when we do the night shows, it's a little bit more difficult for me to get front lit. It's a new band name, Front Lit.
Okay.
All right. So every week we take a movie and we answer a few questions about the film. Just kind of break it down a little bit. This week's film is Se7en. Do you have a synopsis for us?
No, I do not.
I'll get it. It's
Okay.
real simple. Ready? Two detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. It was directed by David Fincher, written by Andrew Kevin Walker, starring Morgan Freeman and Bradley Pitt.
Yes, Bradley Pitt.
Bradley Pitt, which we both know that I'm a big fan of Bradley Pitt. What was our last movie we did?
The last movie we did was Breakdown.
Breakdown. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Breakdown.
So this is part of our, what is it, suspenseful?
Yeah, suspenseful April
Suspenseful.
thrills. Yes.
April. All right. Sorry, I have to pull up the sheet. So I'll go first because
Okay.
I had never seen this movie all the way through.
Really? Never had seen it.
Yep. So this film was made, released in 1995. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm glad it was over.
Okay.
I don't mean that in a negative way, but I was just so ready to get to the end, just because it was just a very heavy movie.
Yeah.
So no, I don't mean that in a bad way. There's a few movies like to me, Into the Wild is another movie.
Yeah.
Where I'm just ready to get to the end of it because it's just so heavy. And this movie felt exactly the same way.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay.
You've seen this movie 50 times a year.
Yeah, I've seen this movie at least. I saw this movie last at the end of January, and I'd seen it before then, probably in October. So I see this movie multiple times per year. In 2019 or 2020, I would fall asleep watching this movie multiple times.
This movie?
Yeah, because it's a quiet movie. I mean, if you think about it, I think it's a quiet, very low-key movie, and it builds, but it's not a loud movie. If you think about it, there's not a lot of action in it, and I think it's slow, and there's a low score. But yeah, the first time I saw this movie, I saw it in the movie theater. I saw a double two movies that day. I saw the Sylvester Stallone movie, Antonio Banderas movie Assassins, and then I turned right around and went to see Se7en. And I liked Se7en so well that I went to watch it again, and I read the novelization of the movie also.
Was the novel before or after?
It was after.
After.
It was after. It's slightly different, I do remember, but I only read it that one time. So yeah. I respect Se7en and reluctantly use the word enjoy due to the subject matter, but I'm drawn to the film.
Just FYI, we are going to give some spoilers here. It's difficult to talk about this movie, I think, without giving some spoilers.
Hey, Tanya. Yeah, very much so.
What? Well, you take this one first. What's something you would change about this movie?
Something that I would change. This movie is over 2 hours long, I
Mhm.
think. I don't know a specific scene that I would cut, but maybe trim down some scenes. Um, I think honestly, now thinking back, I would cut down the library scene where they're doing their
Mm.
research. Somerset's looking. There's some classical music playing. The security guards are playing cards upstairs. Brad Pitt's eating, or
It's kind
Detective
of like a
Mills.
montage.
A
It's like a
little
real,
montage.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's a slow montage, and I think that could be trimmed down or excluded, really.
yeah,
It just shows that Somerset is going to put in the legwork. Not that Mills won't, but Mills is a different type of detective than
yeah.
Somerset.
Um, uh, you know, I don't really know what I would change about this film. I think the length of it was very, very, very uncomfortable, but that's part of the experience, isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah,
I really, I don't really think there's anything I would change. Yeah, maybe chop down, but I think that the amount of changes I would chop out of this would be just like minutes. So it'd still run close to 2 hours if I were to chop at it.
yeah.
But
Right.
I think the cast was great. Uh, yeah, I don't, I hate to give that answer, but I really don't think I would change anything about it. Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
would you,
And
would you,
that's rare for you to say that.
yeah, especially for a 2 hour movie. Um, what, uh, what about the main character? Are we going to go with dual main characters?
Yeah, I would say Somerset and Detective Mills
Mills.
also.
Yeah. One of the most interesting parts of the movie, I mean, I definitely think he makes his arc is kind of difficult to define because he's super cocky at the beginning, but he's also
Exactly.
kind of cocky at the end. What the biggest thing that came to mind when I thought about his character was at the beginning he goes
What?
on and do I?
No, I was just saying what I
Oh,
was saying what
uh,
to you.
at the beginning, his character wants to. He's like giving these guys a hard time for not checking to see if the person was dead. The first guy, he's like giving
Right.
him a really hard time. And then when that guy, he was Sloth, I think.
Yeah.
When he gets to Sloth, he doesn't check to see if Sloth is dead or not, and then he turns out
True.
not to be,
Right.
which is kind of a really big jolt there.
Yes. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah.
Yeah. So, does his character change? I don't think his character changes much.
No.
I would say that Somerset probably does arc pretty well. Now
Yeah.
that I think
Yeah.
about it. So,
I think Somerset does.
yeah, I think he has the biggest arc of the two.
And you have to also think that this takes place in a matter of 1 week.
Oh.
The
So each one of these things happen in a day.
Yeah, because if you notice at the bottom of the screen, each it says Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, and there's typically a murder within those 7 days, which means that John Doe, as they have stated in the movie, has meticulously planned these murders to coincide on these days,
So that they happen.
which made me think he had a lot. This was also just kind of random, but I was curious to see what you would think. So he planned for well, I'm trying to think which murder it was. Was it Sloth? The murder where Sloth, where it leads them to that guy's house, and it says "Help me." You know, they lead them to that guy's house. So that was planned a year in advance, right? Because they have photos to show that it was planned a year in advance, to show that John Doe isn't just a normal serial killer or psychopath. There's some kind of method to what he's doing because he's kept this guy alive for a year. Now, Mills just happens to come onto the scene, and he has Mills at the end of it. John Doe is like, he wants Mills to turn into wrath because John Doe has turned into envy.
Yeah.
Now, what leads me to think that is, did John Doe have this same plan, and it just happened to include Detective Mills randomly because Somerset didn't originally have a partner, or it was just how would he have completed his masterpiece if he didn't have Detective Mills and his wife to be envious of?
Well,
I'm sure there would have been another way, but I always found that kind of interesting.
How did Mills get there? Did we ever establish how he actually gets to this spot?
He fights to transfer to get to the city that Somerset's in.
Why?
It never does really say.
See, that could be part of John Doe's plan. He could be the one that was pushing him forward to come to this city, which they never mention really what the city is.
No.
They call it Gotham or something at one point, but obviously that's just giving it a name. But yeah, okay. So very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, just some food for thought, for people that really like to dig in a little bit.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite scene? I have a scene that I hated.
I do have a favorite scene. I tried to pull it up and learn how so we could show the audience. But my favorite scene is when Mills, Somerset, and John Doe are driving out for the package, and there's a little conversation between the three of them when John Doe is in the back seat talking about why he has done what he's done. Mills says, "You're nothing more than a T-shirt, movie of the week at best." Somerset, even with Somerset, Morgan Freeman's facial expressions, all three of them at the top of their game. I think some of the best interaction between characters in any movie that I've seen. That's my favorite scene. I like another scene as well that caught me off guard and was a thrilling scene. But as far as like pure acting, and you realize why these actors were A-list actors because of their talent, I think it shows in the screenwriter, the director, the music, the scenery, it builds.
The cinematography there too. If you notice, every time during that conversation they cut to John Doe or Mills, it's on the other side of the cage.
Yeah.
But every time they cut to Somerset, it's clean. Yeah. He never has anything because he's not really a part of the scene. He is a part of the scene, but he's not the one that's trapped.
Yeah, and he's not confrontational with John Doe. Mm-hmm. He's more conversational.
Yeah, he's emotionally kind of detached from the scene.
Yeah.
But the other two are very much involved in it. So
and engaged with each other.
Exactly. I could come up with another scene, but I think that's got to be my favorite scene too, because I just like for those reasons. The other one I thought was a really good one was when they're talking to Arlie Ermy.
Yeah.
His character the first time, the positioning of that, because Mills is looking at Somerset, but Somerset never looks at Mills until like the very end of that scene.
Yeah.
So that's another one that was just beautifully done, similar to that one. It's kind of like the flip of that scene. It's like its little sister or something. Music. Music. I thought the music was as eerie as the rest of the movie was. I thought it was perfect.
The opening score, very eerie. The ending, the credits are backwards.
Yeah.
And the music throughout was subtle and it worked. Terrifying at times if you think about it in the context. When the guys in the police station near the end yelling, "Get this thing off of me! Get this thing off of me!" and it's it's showing the tape as they're recording it, and he's shaking. And I was thinking at one point, that's a small role. How difficult that role would be. I mean, you're sitting there shaking, screaming, trembling. Once again, a great small part, great acting.
Do we know who that was?
I've seen him in other things. I don't know his name right off, but I've seen him in a couple of other movies. He's in the movie Saw. I've seen him in a Denzel Washington movie before, but I can't think of his name right off.
It's really interesting that you just brought up Saw, because as we do our final thoughts on this film, I relate this movie to Saw.
Okay.
I think that so here's my final thoughts on the film, and then we'll hear yours. I thought it was extremely well done movie. Thought it was really, really, really good. I thought there was a lot of amazing, like good writing, good characters, good portrayal, great lighting, good DP. Just all of it was just A plus, like almost perfect. It felt a little bit like Saw at times, where I get the point that it was trying to make, but at the same time, why are we going through this whole process just to get to that point?
Right.
It just felt like it was a little bit too much at times.
Okay.
A little bit too much. Will I watch this movie again?
No, I wouldn't assume so.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe in the future. You know me. I'm a big Brad Pitt fan. I think Brad Pitt is such an underrated actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's Brad Pitt, but he's so underrated as an actor because he's so versatile. He's just super good looking, and that's his biggest fault. I wish that was mine. I might watch this again just because there's so many elements of it I like. But I think if I watch it again, I'll probably continue to watch it in bits and pieces.
Right.
Because just watching the whole movie is very, very, very difficult to do. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I watched it last night and then I went to bed. And the worst part was the guy, like the whole movie itself is like, all right, it's dark. There's just a lot going on there. But it's the guy, it's Sloth. Like, to me, that was like, ugh, that just did it for me.
I did not expect that when I saw that in the movie theater. When I saw that, I honestly thought this is a special movie because I did not expect that coming at all.
No. And to watch that right before I went to bed, I was like, oh, snap.
Well, so it's funny. I have the DVD of it, and it's right out of reach. But you open up the DVD, and the notebooks that John Doe had in his apartment. That's what the inside of the DVD looks like. The notebook. Well, I have like a special edition DVD of it, so it's kind of cool. It has like inside notes from production and such. I really love this movie. It's a hard movie to watch. It's a dark movie. I thought that everything that you said about the movie, I thought that you would agree with. All the technical aspects, acting, score. I didn't think that you would like it. But I was really glad, and that's why I like talking with you, that you can distinguish between a movie that you don't like, but what's good about it, and appreciate it for the positive aspects of it as well. Because you didn't really name anything negative. You just said that's really not your type of movie. It wasn't really a negative about the movie.
It's just dark and it's just super heavy.
Yeah.
Super heavy.
I can't really disagree or add anything more than what you said. The acting top notch, directing. It was David Fincher's third movie. No, a second movie. I think Alien 3, and then 7. I think that's the way it went.
Yeah,
And
he did music videos.
yeah, for Madonna, I think a lot of Madonna music, and Michael Jackson videos too.
Aerosmith, Billy Idol.
So I would say if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check this out. It's not for everyone, but this movie, when it came out, it was a slow build. It spent 4 weeks number one, but it never made more than $13.9 million in a weekend. So it was a slow build, and it was, I think, the 13th highest grossing movie of 1995. Made over $100.7 million in America on a $33 million budget, I think.
Jeez.
And it helped propel Brad Pitt further into the future, because he was not as well known back in 1995 for his acting. He was mainly known as the good-looking guy from Legends of the Fall or Thelma and Louise, and I think this first showcased his real acting ability.
Was this before or after 12 Monkeys?
This was before 12 Monkeys.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's if I had to rate, I haven't seen all of Fincher's movies, but I would say it's the second best one he's made of the ones I've seen.
And you would say what, Benjamin Button? Was that your favorite one?
Oh, he made this one about the same time as 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
Social Network.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think Social Network's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's
Network.
Easily top 5. Social Network, and Castaway, and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Those are the 3 that I easily fall asleep to.
Okay. So yeah, this was a fun show. We've got I think we've got one more movie left, and then we have Blockbuster May coming up.
What movie are we gonna do next week?
I think we should do a movie called The Good Son. Have you watched this movie?
Oh, it's been a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one?
Let's do it.
And
That's
then
fine.
Starting off Blockbuster May, we're going to start off with one of Jake's favorite films. I'm going to give it a second chance. Well, I was going to go with The Village. We're going to start off with The Village because The Village.
You're calling that one a blockbuster?
It was. It was. It made over $100 million in America and over 200 or 300 worldwide, and it was a financial success. I haven't watched it since I disliked it. Let's see if I've matured and like it now. And I'm going into it with, honestly, a positive outlook. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
All right. I'm so excited.
Because Adrian Brody, I've come to respect him more. Joaquin Phoenix as well. Even M. Night Shyamalan, I've liked most of his movies. So I want to go into and give it another chance.
This one's big.
Yeah.
This one's real big.
So, yeah, it's been a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, good show. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Adam and Jake on the movies. For Se7en, we'll be back next week with The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. So
yeah,
make sure to tune into that one. I'm Jake.
And I'm Adam.
Stick around. We'll do the Other People show right after this.
Yep.
See you guys.
See you guys.